Whether you're buying gold for the first time or you're a long-termer like me, it can be a bit daunting to pull the trigger, work out where to buy from, at what price, what's fair, what's not fair, and making sure that you're not going to get scammed or ripped off is also a big consideration. It can be very, very daunting. So I want to talk today a little bit about how you go about that. Even if you are a seasoned stacker like me, it can still be very daunting. But I get asked all the time by newbies, where can I buy from? What's the best price to buy at? And what can I do to protect myself from being scammed? That and much more in today's Precious Metal Ramble. Everybody, Backyard Bullion here. Welcome to another Precious Metal Ramble where we shoot the breeze about all things precious and shiny. Now in today's video I want to talk about buying gold and silver. It's really simple to buy your gold and silver. You can buy it from a whole host of different dealers. Atmex is one, and they're not sponsoring today's video. It's just a cool box that I keep my stuff in. Investments you hold. You do have to think quite a bit about buying physical gold and silver. It's more of a responsibility than just putting money into a bank account or having stocks and shares. It's physical, it's real. You have to be somewhat responsible on A, what you're buying, that you don't get ripped off, B, storing it and securing it and making sure it's okay, and then at the other end of the investment cycle, selling it and making sure that you get the best prices for things and you're not getting ripped off along the way. That can be a bit of a daunting minefield. So I want to put some of my thoughts down in video form here today to just talk about what it's like for brand new buyers to buy. Even maybe seasoned buyers will struggle sometimes. If you've not bought for a little while, it can be a bit daunting to get back into things, and it is a minefield out there. There are so many different companies and individuals as well. There's certainly some unscrupulous individuals in social media land that will sell you the hype, the fear, and then charge through the nose for those things that they say is the best thing you have to buy right now. If you don't buy it right now, you're going to miss out and it's the end of the world. That's really not the case when it comes to buying gold and silver. It's a marathon, not a sprint, to coin a phrase. And it's something that you really do have to think quite long and hard about, where you want to see your money and your investments develop over time and how you want to see them develop over time as well. There's a whole lot of different things, and I'm not going to be able to cover everything in this video. So let me know your tips, hints, tricks, thoughts and opinions down in the comment section. It'd be great to hear what you've got to say. So where to start? I get asked a lot. If I had $1 or a pound for every time I've been asked, where can I buy, or what's the best place to buy, what's the best price to buy at, I would be, well, I probably wouldn't have that many dollars. I'd have certainly hundreds of dollars or thousands of dollars. I've been asked that question more and more over the last couple of years. And I think right now, with gold prices being where they are, we are seeing more and more people coming into the fold of gold purchasing and silver as well. Come on, camera, you can do it. Focus. There we go. There have been an increase in the number of people who are getting interested in gold. Of course there are. It's at the all-time highs and it catches people's attention. There is also a responsibility out there in the world of social media. There's a lot of fear-mongering. There's a lot of hype and hysteria. And that's fine for those channels that want to sit there with a shocked look on their face and sit in their basement and say the silver is going to go to $7,000 now. Yeah, no, it's not. It's really not. But you know, it certainly brings more people into the fold. And what we will say is, from the craziness that was, for example, the Wall Street silver movement with all of their idiocy about trying to squeeze silver, it brought a lot of people into the world of precious metal investing and stacking, which is only a good thing. People being able to take independence of their own finances and really get to grips with what it's like to be a long-term stacker. Those poor people, maybe they bought at the high of the hypes where you were paying $50 for a US silver eagle or more even. You know, they're going to be sitting on that silver for a long time unless they realize those losses. So it is an interesting thing, but it's very daunting. So what do you do if you're brand new? You've really got to look at the basics of why you want to buy gold and silver in the first place. I am not a financial advisor. I'm not an investment advisor. But what I would say is that gold and silver should form a part of your portfolio. They should not be the sole thing that you have, and they should form a small part of your portfolio as well. People in this modern world, certainly in the world of gold and silver, go down the rabbit hole of anything that's mainstream is bad, and I can't stand that crap. It's just a load of tosh. You should be looking at your investments as a bigger picture. They should form small parts of a bigger picture. Gold can certainly be that, silver can certainly be that, but it is not the best thing. It is just a hedge against inflation. Yes, there is some volatility in gold and silver. You can make money on gold and silver. You can turn it around. You can flip it, maybe make a few bucks here or there. But generally speaking, it's something you need to hold for a very long time to be able to even realize any kind of marginal gains. And even then, those marginal gains are all pegged against the value of your currency and inflation anyway. So it's all very much relative to what's going on in your sphere of influence in your world. So do bear that in mind. Things like your pension schemes, your 401ks, as they call them in the US, are very much important things to look at. Even having things like stocks and shares. In the UK, you can have ISAs, which are tax-free accounts. Yes, you can have tax-free savings on gold coins from, say, the Royal Mint, but there are other avenues which are arguably better to have money coming in than investing in gold and silver. But if you do get to the point where buying gold and silver is on your horizon and you think it would be a good thing to have, where to get it is another important factor. There are a lot of really, really bad bullion dealers out there. That's what I'll say. There are a lot that will just lure you in with the hype. They'll not necessarily have listed items on their websites. They'll have live access to our gold markets through our brokers. And they'll put on a posh, tough accent and they'll have their London offices and it'll be basically a con. It makes you feel important, makes you feel special, and makes you feel like you're the one that is investing, where actually they're just ripping you off. And they'll sell you overpriced crap, basically. Graded MS69 coins, which are worth basically a percentage over spot price. And they'll sell you those for, 20% over spot. They make a killing. What you want instead is you want to buy gold and silver from a mainstream dealer rather than one of these charlatan dealers. And it can be very difficult to cut through the real sort of crap out there in this world. There are a number of really great ones. I am not sponsored by any of them today, but I will mention a few that I've used in my tenure. Atkinson's Bullion, Chard's, Blair Bullion, Tavex, Hatton Garden Metals. There's plenty others. Bullion by Post, whilst yes, it's a mainstream dealer, it's a good one, but they are expensive compared with others. And that's the other thing. You will find that a lot of dealers have varying prices, and they'll vary from dealer to dealer. And this is a free market, it's a free world, and I'm not saying that anyone should cast shade on a company like Bullion by Post, because whilst they are expensive generally across the board, sometimes they have the best price on a particular item. I have bought from them in the past, but generally speaking, I find that their price points are higher than some of the other dealers out there. And that's partly due to the fact that someone like those companies, and plenty of others as well, will sit high up in Google search rankings. And if you just quickly search buy gold in the United Kingdom, they'll be first. They will 100% be first. Probably second will be the Royal Mint. And that's they're even worse than Bullion by Post in terms of pricing. And look, I don't want to cast shade on Bullion by Post. They are a good company. They are a very, very, very reliable company. But generally speaking, I find them to be a little bit more expensive than others. That said, I have found them to be quite good on their buybacks. They do pay quite well for certain things. So it's always worth checking them out. And as I said, I don't want to cast shade against them because they are a great company, but there are others that are cheaper, so it's worth shopping around and having a look. What I would say is don't go direct to the Royal Mint. It's not good. I've already shown that coin, haven't I? Let's show a different coin. Then they're really expensive, the Royal Mint, and it doesn't make any sense why the Royal Mint would be more expensive for buying products than dealers, the middlemen almost, but apparently so, because unfortunately the Royal Mint plays on their branding and the trust that we put in them as consumers, that they know what they're doing, that they're the place to buy, the best place to buy, and unfortunately they cash in on that and they will just make hand over fist profits. And it's the same every time a new product comes out, like the new 2025 Britannias came out not that long ago. You can buy them for 1 ounce gold Britannia, you can buy them for 50, 60, 70 pounds less from one of the mainstream dealers than you can from the Royal Mint, which I think speaks volumes as to the Royal Mint's moral bankruptcy. But enough about the Royal Mint, we'll put them to one side. The point here is that you can chop and change. But it's also worth thinking about, is it really worth saving a few pounds here and there on big purchases? If you're going to be going and buying, there are plenty of examples that I've had in the past where people get in touch going, I've got a large sum of money that I've either inherited or that I have saved up and now I want to move into something different. 10,000, 50,000. I've even heard people talking to me about investing £250,000 into gold and silver. And the amount of times that I get people come back and go, Where should I buy? And I give them some recommendations of some of the best dealers, as I've mentioned in this video. And they come back and they go, oh, but it's 2% over spot price. Yes, the dealers charge a premium. But if you're buying £250,000 worth of gold or £50,000 worth of gold all in one go, lock it in now. Buy it from a dealer. You're paying a small premium, yes, but you're buying that service. You're buying that security. Like, I don't mind bashing dealers when we say, you can buy cheaper than them if you buy on places like the Silver Forum. That is definitely true. But you can't buy 50 grand's worth of stuff on social media without putting yourself at risk. And that 2% extra over spot price that you're saving, it doesn't make sense to me. And people also will go and they'll have like £5 saving on a £2,000 1 ounce gold coin. And they will take a risk because it's a dealer that nobody's ever heard of before. And there's no reviews on them online, but they're saving £5 an ounce. I'm not ever opening this capsule, by the way, without a little knife. Oh, there's a little knife on the table. There we go. Anyway, the point is people take these massive risks over it, and I just don't understand why they would do that. Stick to the really great companies that will look after you. And the ones that I've mentioned in this video, Atkinson's Chards, Blair, Tavex, Hampton Garden Metals, plenty of others out there, the mainstreams, they are great at what they do and they will look after you just fine. So always, always, always have a look around and shop around. Now, if you are going to be going big on gold, if you're doing £250,000 worth of gold, I've always said to people, even to be fair, even if you're doing £1,000 worth of gold, just buy it now, put it in a drawer, a safe drawer, or a lock box, or a safe deposit box, or if you've got a little home security safe, something like that, put it in there for 10 years and forget about it. That's what gold is about. Silver is more volatile. Silver, we haven't really talked about a great deal of silver at the moment in this video because it's just not as good. It really isn't. And unfortunately, silver in its sort of coin form tends to be a lot more expensive. Yes, you can get Britannias like this, which are capital gains tax exempt, so that's always a benefit, but realistically, it's just never going to be as good as gold, and that has been proven time through time. Gold is always better and always will be, so just have that in mind. But I will also yield the point that there is a potential for silver to do more. It's a more volatile metal, and in one day it might catch up and surprise us all. So that's why I have some. But again, now this is the kind of counterpoint. I've told you about buying silver or buying gold from dealers and how that's probably your best bet in the current market that we're in because the savings are so minimal and marginal that you might as well. But if you're buying silver, that is no-nos from dealers because you'd be paying through your nose, especially from places like the Raw Mint. If you're buying from the Raw Mint, then you'll be paying £37, £38 for £39 an ounce, something like that. It's ridiculous. And most dealers will be a little bit more competitive than that, but they'll still have the VAT element on it, and they'll still be sitting around the £35 an ounce mark, which is a lot for a bullion piece of silver. So if you can get silver, the average kind of going rate right now is around 20% over spot. So if you add sort of about £4 an ounce on spot price right now, that's a good price. For example, if I had a batch of, if I was selling these through our Backyard Bullion Buyers Club, which has been a lot quieter of late, and I predicted that would happen through the craziness that is the markets, and maybe eBay is also playing a factor here, but if these came in to sell, I would charge £28 for them, which is basically spot plus 20%, because that's the going rate right now on the second-hand market. So if you're buying that kind of silver at that price, that's a good bet, but it's not necessarily a surefire thing. You're still going to be a little bit underwater, and you have a less liquid avenue of exit for your gold. So talking of exits, that's where I want to wrap up this video. If you, for example, are brand new to gold, have a good think about why you're getting it and where you're getting it from. That's what we've covered so far. But then have a think about where you're going to sell it. You have the responsibility to look after your gold along its lifespan and get rid of it at the other end. And that is only you can give you the best results. You can't rely on anybody else. You can't rely on a particular bullion dealer. And certainly you can't rely on all these charlatan companies with their live brokers to the live gold markets and all of that bollocks. You can't rely on those people because time and time again, those companies that will tell you these wonderful things about, yes, we'll buy back your gold at XYZ. When people go to do that, they don't buy it back at the prices that they've originally said. And they go, it's because the market is doing X, Y, and Z. You have to take responsibility of it. Work out how you're going to sell. Are you going to sell it to a dealer? If you're going to be selling stuff to a dealer, then you want to buy things that are low to the ground and really cheap. You don't want to be buying proof coins or things like this, which is one of the Raw Mint's BU sovereigns, which is like, I think it was like £3,000, and against the spot price of around £2,000 when it was released. That is a big investment. If I wanted to sell this now to a dealer, I'd be lucky to get spot price for it. but realistically, it's going to have to be sold to a specialist collector at some point in its lifespan. How that will have to happen is more complicated for individuals to do. Do you put it through auction sites? Do you start a YouTube channel and grow it to 65,000 subscribers, and maybe, just maybe, somebody out there in the world is a collector and thinks that buying it is a good idea? Maybe that's something to do. I don't know. I wouldn't have any idea what that's all about. But the point is that you need to think hard and long about it. Although what I've said about buying gold, if you're buying low to the ground, cheapo sovereigns like this from a bullion dealer, 2% over spot, which seems to be the going rate right now, put them in a drawer, lock them away for 10 years, and then thank me when you see how it's performed over that 10 year, because gold is better than silver in every measurable way possible. It really is, and it will continue to be better as well. So yeah, there's my thoughts. A lot to digest. I hope you found it interesting, whether you're a new stacker or a seasoned stacker. I'll try and remember to put links to all of those dealers that I've mentioned in this video description box. If you would like to share any other dealers that you've had really good positive experiences with down in the comment section, be aware though that if you put hyperlinks down there, that YouTube will delete the comment. YouTube doesn't like it when you put hyperlinks in comments, so please do bear that in mind. Just write the dealer's name. Most people will be able to find it through a Google search, for example. I'm sure I've missed a number of really good ones out there, but those are all the UK-based ones. There are plenty of others in the world that are just as good, so let me know your thoughts. A huge shout out to the Backyard Bullion Ramblers who've been watching to the back end of the video, and also to the Cool Kids Club members. I need a serial number, and I think the only one, I think we've done both of these serial numbers before, because these are sat in my box. So is there something better that we can do? Does this one have one? Oh, it does. Fantastic. Right. Hey, look, very conveniently placed in an Atkinson's coin flip as well. So if you're in the super extra special Cool Kids Club, this one's a hard one to read, you have to quote the serial number CH000854. So that's CH000854, if we can get it to focus. And then I'll know that you are indeed super extra special cool. Thank you very much for all of your viewership. We'll see you on the next video. As always, please make sure that you like, share, comment, and subscribe for more.